Hey, my name is Austin Klein. Welcome to our new channel, and this channel is going to be dedicated to building this car right here. And wanted to go through and show you guys from the very start to the very end, and building this thing and putting it back to what it was. Hopefully with some new age stuff on there. I think the last time this car ran was 12 years ago, back when I drag raced. So it's kind of cool to see that we both this car and myself have had that time off. A little bit about this car. Some of you guys don't know what this car is. Some of you guys do know what this car is. This car, go ahead and show them. This car is it's called KS TUNED.com. It was formerly known as KaizenSpeed in my era. KaizenSpeed focused primarily on H22s, and they still have KS Tune, which is a diversion of that group. It's basically one company separating the two, where they focus on H22s and Prelude and Accord stuff over here, and then and racing for Hondas. And on the other side, they have more of like Camaros, hot rods, Corvettes, stuff like that. This car for me in my 20s was like a dream car. I was building an H22 at the same time that this motor was being built, and I never would have ever guessed that I would own this car. I'm still in shock by it. I literally got it yesterday. We drove down, we did an 11-hour drive yesterday to go get this car. So it means a lot to me, and I'm sure that it means a lot to the H community. The person that I bought it from, a great guy. So him and his son, we're both gonna go through this and make it into a race car as well. However, I found out that it was gonna be a different engine, and for me, I don't know. I talked to Reed at Honda Fest this year. He was the original owner of this, the original builder, him and his team. And he said he would like to see another H go back into it. Well, when I talked to the new owner of it, he mentioned that he was going to throw a B-Series in it. Hey, when you own the car, you can do what you want to. For me, I couldn't see that, and I didn't want to be rude and disrespectful. And so what I did instead was I said, well, if your plans change, please put me number one in line, and I will try to figure out anything and everything to come and get the car. And those plans wound up going through. He called me up a couple weeks later, and I was like, wow, I have a chance to go and get the KS Tune car. So that's what we're going to do. I have an H22 already fully built. I've had this motor for a very long time. I actually put 20,000 miles on it on the street. It's a very good setup. I've never had no issues with it. It's on that setup. It's a 2.3 liter. It's a 88 mil bore. It's got the original closed deck, 92 to 96. It's also got the 50 mil journals, the bigger crank out of the bunch. I guess from what I was hearing, Reed had said that was the heavier one. We may freshen that up and change some things on that, but my main goal is to go ahead and redo that motor, and I would like to reach out to a big rod manufacturer such as Bill Miller Engineering or GRP or Ramy Rods, whichever. I'm looking for a 1500 horsepower rod at the bare minimum. I want to bring this car back to what it can do and what it will do. So mark my words. This car, to me, it's unreal. It's still a dream. So basically, I'm going to take a moment, walk you guys through this. We're going to wind up getting on the lift today. Our number one goal today is just to get on the lift, look it over, and start making a list of everything I need and everything I don't need. So there's actually a lot of stuff that's really cool still hidden on this car. And one thing that I like about this car, it's the lightest shell I've ever dealt with, ever. So one of the things that you can see that KaizenSpeed had done back in the day is they actually took the metal on the the doors and cut that out. They put the glass back in. There's actually an article on motortrend.com about the car, and it talks about how plans change and it's better to be organized and have an idea of what you're going to do. They wound up originally building this car and making a street race car, and as you can see, they were very unique in how they thought, in their thought process of keeping it race car but also street car. So if you come in here, you can take a look and look around, and you can see kind of the condition that it's in. It still has the cage. It's actually, the cage has been certified recently. It's still good. This cage is actually the #1 reason that I bought the car, besides the nostalgic purpose of this car. So another thing that we find is back up in there, we had some nitrous at one point. We had an NRG quick release hub here for the steering wheel. He had a button here. We're still trying to figure out exactly what the button was about, but from the videos of racing, we could see that he was hitting the button at the burnout and then later on. So I'm thinking that might have been some sort of stutter button or something of that nature. We have a staging brake. Staging brakes look a little, they're pretty much the same thing still to this day. I mean, it's just a simple staging brake. And the car was a H to B, so what you guys will notice is there's a shifter there. We're still undecided on if we're going to go H to B or if we're going to go H to H, all-wheel drive, and try to help out the few H22 crew and doing anything that we need to figure out transmission stuff. One of the #1 biggest hurdles for the H22 community has been the transmission stuff. So we hope that we can put some power down. I know we can. I plan to at least make 1,000 horsepower. I think I can build at least 1,400 horse. We'll see though. It's all talk till it's done. But here's the car, as you can see. And then they had the parachute deal come back through here. It mounted through here. They would have had their chute there. This was black at one point. Pretty cool. It's actually just a sheet of aluminum that's just rolled right here and has been cut around the sides. I'm going to actually clean that up some more. It's not exactly flawless in that regard, but one of the coolest things I like about it is right here. Right here we have this little lip of a wing. So you got your turn off switch there. Still has the original blocks, coilovers, so that's kind of cool. And then again, here's the door. Cut, same idea. We got a couple different things. We don't have the original KaizenSpeed rear trailing arms. I hope to get those in the future. Pretty much if KaizenSpeed makes it for this car, it's going on this car, because this is the original bad boy car. That was a guy that sat down there in that lower piece there, and that would, I'm assuming that would have been the starter switch, a nitrous arm, and probably the switch for the nitrous there. Probably not there actually. Maybe that's the one on the steering wheel, because you got to think about it. You're running 8s. Last thing you want to do is reach over and try to hit a switch. So we got a dump tube, a couple things there, the parachute bar that mounts in the back there. As you can see, here's the cage. This cage is amazing. I really want to take the time to just kind of look this over. It ties into the shock mounts here, ties into the floors, the floor area here, and it actually comes down through there. If I go all-wheel drive, one of the things that we'll probably have to mess with is right there, and I'll just hump that over if they allow it. It looks like we got a Skunk 2 shifter there. That's pretty cool. I haven't seen a Skunk 2 shifter in a while, so we're gonna go ahead and open this guy up now, get you guys a viewing of this. There it goes. Kind of a tricky booger. There it is. And so here's the underneath. And back in the day, he actually ran a looks like a clutch solenoid here, or a slipper valve of some sort. Had a delete on the booster. It's pretty wicked. I'm not sure what we got over there. That's the nitrous line right there, coming out of there. I'll have to look over there what that is. Probably a jumper. And then if you look right here, we actually still have the air to water. And then we still have the, for the tank for the water. And then there's a fuel tank hiding down there. Still got a sending unit in it. So, yeah. And believe it or not, Reed was still clutching this car. And it was going into the 8s, no problem. So, you know, if you're full throttle shifting and you get rid of that clutch like that, it's probably worth, you know, having a clutch it like that. It probably, you know, 0.4 of a second, honestly. But that's pretty wicked that he was getting it so fast. He could drive the heck out of this thing, I'll tell you that. So, pretty cool to see. There'll be more updates. We're going to go ahead and get it on the lift now. So we're going to show the first time under view of this car. Manual rack, always necessary for drag racing. Looks like we have the original cross member, which would have been probably a power steering rack, and it looks like they've taken 2 bushings and made that work. That will be replaced. We can't do that. On the front drag stuff here, it looks like we have some strange coilovers. I think that's right. Let me see here. Yep, strange. That's the brand, in case you guys don't know. I've never seen these before, so that's interesting. I do know of them. But overall down here, it's really well taken care of. There's that fuel cell like I was talking about, the air to water, the water tank for that. It's pretty big. So, and we have a traction bar that's made out of this, and then they'd have a weight bar down here bolt up, and unfortunately I didn't get the weight bar. But you're talking over 12 years ago. This thing, for how old it was, is remarkably very similar to what they run nowadays on these cars. Pretty cool. This is cool. So on this the rear bearing here, we actually have a bearing, and it's stiffened so that there's no movement here. Looks like the bushings were redone with some really heavy bushings there. That's a press-in style bushing there. So they did all that, and then they went through and put the bearing one in here. That's cool. So here we have the staging brake line, and I've actually, somebody must have hit it because we're leaking. So there was fluid still in it. And we got blocks rears, the Pro series. That's kind of cool. Looks like they're 12K springs in the back here. So this car did not have these trailing arms. Jordan replaced these. He was getting ready to replace them with the bearing style ones. It looks like he did on this side, not on this side. So that's kind of cool. More work, but I think he did pretty good. Back here, tank is eliminated. It looks like they de-riveted back here as well. Pieces of metal. So they were all about taking the metal out to try to conserve on weight, which is intriguing because this piece is still here and this piece is still here. So I'll have to do my research on why they would have pulled that. And then we have that bar coming through right here too. So if I do all-wheel drive, that's got to go, that's got to go. Fun times. And then we got our kill switch right there, which looks like they did okay. I don't really like it on the bumper and the plastic. I'd rather have it more firm somewhere, but that's probably fine because if it did wreck, then it would flex or something. Well, and then there's the camber adjustment arms. They look still pretty good. What about these guys? Oh, this one doesn't have it. Well, hopefully it's in the box. If not, we'll get another set. Well, there you go. There you have it. That's the underneath of the KS Tuned car. And one thing that I'm happy about is it does have the Wilwood front brakes. I'm not sure on these rotors. I'm thinking these are rear rotors, but it has the 36 mil drive shaft hub assembly there. So be interesting to kind of look into that some more. Well, there you have it, guys. That's the underneath.